Great to have you here. Thanks you for trusting me. We are doing a journey together, 45 minutes. And what I would like you to do while I'm talking here, take a big project in your life, something, a dream you want to achieve, a plan you want to have, and have it in your mind. You know, this guy over there in the green shirt, that's me. It was 2 years ago. And I was here as a listener. And it was fascinating with the people, the people who have been here and the speakers. I learned so much. And my question was, how could I contribute? Do I have to give something useful here? And I realized that I met so many people in my life who had a great plan, great ideas, a great project, who actually would have been up for a promotion in their life. And they did not know how to persuade the people around them. So I said, you know, if I can, in my advertising agency, help Nestle and Coca-Cola and BMW to persuade their people, I might help people in their life to realize their project. So here I am. That was my plan, you know, be here as a speaker. And thanks to Selena, I find that a wonderful, wonderful idea that you realized, and I really admire you, Selena, how you did not let yourself stop. So, the first question, is it art? You know, if it was art, you know, I could go home now because I'm not a born persuader. And I will tell you a short story how I really failed miserably in persuading. And as I said, you know, I worked in an advertising agency, an American agency, and we had just won a big account. It was Swiss Federal Railways. I was 30 years old at that time. And the management board said, yes, we will take this campaign, but we have to convince a larger management group of this campaign. And I was invited to do this presentation. And I realized when I presented, something was going terribly wrong. They just didn't trust me. I could not persuade them. And they said, no, we don't want this campaign. And can you imagine that we had worked so hard for this campaign? And, you know, my colleagues have been there, they presented, they were successful. And I fucked it up. Can you imagine how miserable I felt in that situation? How bad I felt? So I said, no, and that was not the first time, by the way. It was not the first time. I did that always. And all the time, so I said, it cannot go on like that. I have to learn how to do that. And I learned. And I have this woman that I admire. I've never met her. It's Catherine Mary Thompson. Her mother was a dancer. And her mother wanted her to be a dancer too. And she said, no, I don't want to dance. I am an athlete. And she was very good at high school in long jump, but she never made more than 4 meters, 4.50 meters, until she met a coach and learned techniques of long jump. And then she made 5 meters, 6 meters, and she won the junior championship in long jump. I think it was 2008 something. So what is so obvious in sport, learning techniques to improve, is not so obvious when it's about persuasion. We just don't know techniques. And you know, I introduce you to some techniques, and if you're listening to me, just think it's nothing you have to do. You might feel uncomfortable with it, so leave it away. It's just food for thought, something you might think about, something that might help you in your life. Now, I've realized there are 2 big barriers that people have when trying to persuade someone. First of all, they think, if I cannot convince someone, then my proposal was bad. You know, go to your boss and ask for a salary increase, and he says no. And what do you think? You might think I'm not good enough. And I want to encourage you to abandon this idea. Think better. You might not have communicated it well. Second thing, people who are good at persuading others are gifted by nature. This is not what I learned. People who are good at persuading others prepare and use techniques. Now, I want now you to do a little short exercise, 2 by 2, and it's very simple. And do it playful. It's not pressure on you. Just try to play with it. So the idea is you are meeting a colleague you do not know so well, but whom you like, in a coffee shop. You have a spare ticket for a concert tonight and decide spontaneously to invite her to this concert. However, she has other plans. She had a tough week and is looking forward to a quiet evening at home, watching TV, then reading, and then going to bed early. So imagine that the person sitting next to you is that person you want to invite. So I want to try it out. So take the person next to you, sit together, and this person absolutely is tired. She wants to go to bed. She wants to have a TV dinner, nice hamburger. You know, she was looking forward to that. And you want to take this person to a concert and do it in a way that this person says yes. Agreed? So I give you 2 minutes for that. Just one way. Just one way. Okay? 2 minutes. Who could persuade the person who wants to have a TV dinner to come to the concert? Raise your hand. Okay, quite a few. Congratulations. So, you know, the thing is you are good at it, yeah? Now the point is, what you did so well, when it's about have a salary increase or getting promoted or finding a job, you abandon everything you did now and start becoming very complicated. So let's look at the things you did. First of all, if you want to persuade someone, there are 3 steps that you have to follow. First of all, you have to create empathy. You know, if you go to your boss and you say, I want a salary increase and you don't give it to me, 20%, I'll leave. It does not work. It does not work, in the contrary. So, create empathy. And the best way to create empathy is similarity. You know, I met a boss of mine. She was so good at it. And she was trying to find similarity with this person she was talking to, somebody who wanted money for a big project. And he said, I found another similarity we have. Our sister's name is Susan also. It sounds a bit awkward, but it worked, by the way. And secondly, show a benefit of what. What is the benefit if for this person going to a concert? Show a benefit. We usually think only of our benefit, the benefit we have if we take this person to a concert. And if we forget totally that the other person only comes if she or him sees a benefit. And the third is, ask her then, yes or no, do you want to come? And people are afraid of that. Do you know why they're afraid? Because they can't live with a no. Someone who is good at persuading others has lived with a no many, many, many times and is good dealing with that. So, I want, you know, I do a workshop, it's a day long, and I stop at 45 minutes, so we go as long as I can, yeah? Might stop in the middle of it. But the most important thought that I want you to have today is, that's also what I told my clients, you're not only a banker, you're not only a social worker, you are not only a choreographer, the best that Switzerland has ever had. We have the honor here to have one of the best choreographers that Switzerland has seen here in this room, Gisela. So you're not only a choreographer, you are your own campaigner for your own issues in your life. Now, this is not obvious. We don't do that. We are sometimes very good at campaigning for others and very bad at campaigning for ourselves. And from now on, you have the right and the obligation, I invite you to become a campaigner for your issues in your life. Because if you don't do it, nobody will. So do it. Today, you are your own campaigner. Forget everything I said, but don't forget that. It's so important. Whatever you want, a salary increase, a new job, working part-time, create a company, having a family, make a career, you know, be a campaigner in your life. And my big example is Christopher Columbus. He had a big thought, and he worked 8 years to have it realized. So if you become a campaigner in your life, I will give you some thoughts and some ideas how you could do that. First of all, have a big dream. Have a project now at this moment. All the project that you have buried in your life, that you thought, I can't do it, take it up again. Take it up again. And have a big dream and campaign for it. Now, what does that mean? Now, the point is, if we have such a big project, even a salary increase, I take that as an example, we usually have not the words for it. We have a kind of a picture in our mind. We want to create a company, but I don't know what company. I want to do a world trip around the world and not come back to a job and not have a return ticket. But you don't have an image, you don't have put it in words. We have a vague image. And once you want to go to your boss and to talk about a salary increase, the words are missing. So my advice to you is, put what you have as an image in your head into words. It helps. I've seen so many people in my advertising agency, and they said, Kurt, I have a plan. And they asked them, what is your plan? And they could not phrase it, because they had this image in their mind which helped them, and they thought because they have the image in their mind, they can also express it. So you will persuade no one if you do not know what you want. Define your issue, what you want, and define a goal. Now imagine you go, this might be your boss, and you want 20% salary increase, and you go to him, and if you have not defined what you want, he will hijack you. He will take you where he wants you. But if you prepare and reflect, put into words what you want, you might win. So, second thought is, again, it's not something you have to do, it's something you think about, yeah? Just think about this. You will not persuade someone if you do not know what persuades him or her. So, listen and profile. In persuading others, it's not what you say, it's what you did before, the way you learned, what you learned about this person. I think I have a short video to show that many people know, by the way, and they laugh about it. And usually they don't know why they're laughing. I'll tell you why.
Das hier ist mein Sektor. Das hier ist das wichtigste Gerät des Küstenwächters. Das Gerät und das Gerät. Überlebensradar.
Mayday, Mayday. Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you... Over. We are sinking. We are sinking.
Hello? This is the German Coast Guard.
We are sinking. We're sinking.
What are you thinking about?
Yeah, everybody laughs about that. The fact is, we have to laugh about ourselves, because that's what we are doing, We have no clue. Let's say you go to your boss and you ask for a salary increase, and his dog has died in the morning, and he loved it. And you talk about yourself, and you have no empathy. You don't realize in what context it is, and you don't address it. You will be losing, If you don't do a profile where this person stands at the moment when you're talking to him, you do not address it, you're besides the point. I did that so many times. I was with clients, I did not see how, what desperate situation they were. I just had the idea, we have to sell them a great campaign. We have to win an award. I didn't care about the client. It doesn't work. They start hating you. They start hating you for that. So, now, what is a profile? I could talk a long time about profiling. I'm a specialist for that. But I just want to remember two things regarding profiling. The first thing you have to think, let's take your boss, you want a salary increase, yeah? Because everybody wants a salary increase. If there's somebody who does not want a salary increase, yeah, everybody wants, you don't want one? Okay, good. Do you want other things that are more valuable? Great. But let's take this one. So you have to think, what would be the benefit if you got a salary increase? First of all, and the second thing is very important, and people forget that. I mean, the benefit was clear for you, but the second thing is that you probably are not thinking about is, what is the barrier that this person stops saying yes to a salary increase? So it might be that even if it had a benefit, you might not do it because it has a barrier. Like, for instance, this person is too young. You know, she doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the experience. So address that. Address this issue. If you're not addressing, you're talking besides the point, because you're always thinking, this person does not have the experience. She is too young. So a profile means, think of the person, look at the situation this person is in at the moment. Second thing is, what would be the benefit if this person promoted you? If this person gave you money for your company? And what is the barrier that stops this person doing that? So, you know, making persuasion, and we look at this picture, is like a balance, yeah? It's a balance. On the one side, you have the yes, I give her a salary increase. And on the other hand, you have no, I can't. This person is too young. Now, if you want to persuade this person, you have to put weight in the yes, give the benefits, and take away the barriers, take the weight off. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Well, I'll show you a little movie. It's better than explaining these complicated things that just takes a lot of my time. I have a better thing. It is, who knows Ronald Reagan of you? Well, everybody. So you know that was a very old person when he became president. There's a very famous video clip of a presidential debate where the person asked him, "Aren't you too old to be president?" Yeah. So he addressed this barrier in a wonderful way.
Mr. Truitt, your question to President Reagan.
Mr. President, I want to raise an issue that I think has been lurking out there for 2 or 3 weeks and cast it specifically in national security terms. You already are the oldest president in history, and some of your staff say you were tired after your most recent encounter with Mr. Mondale. I recall yet that President Kennedy had to go for days on end with very little sleep during the Cuba Missile Crisis. Is there any doubt in your mind that you would be able to function in such circumstances?
Not at all, Mr. Truitt, and I want you to know that also I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit, for political purposes, my opponent's youth and inexperience.
So we don't do that. I've read the story about these things, and he was prepared for that. He trained it. He knew this question would come up. Now, how many times had you thought, I'm too young for this, I'm too old, I'm not good enough for this, I don't have the experience, I don't know, and we are not prepared, we can't give an answer. He is a classical example where we took this prejudice and turned it around in a wonderful way. But he did a profiling. He knew this question would come up. It was great. I love it. So the wonderful thing is about persuasion, or the misconception is that if you want to persuade someone, you have to make him change. Yeah, he has to abandon his beliefs. He has to do something he does not or she doesn't want. Forget it. That's manipulation. Don't ask people to change or do something against their will. Show them that what you want from them is what they want. Show them that it is in line with their values. Show them that's in line with their objectives in life. Shows them that it's in line with your motives. Now, if you are this young person who wants this job, or this old person, let's take the old person because it looks a bit more difficult. You want this job, and so this person that should employ an older person should not change. But you show him that employing an older person is in line with his values in life that he has anyway. and that it is in line with the objectives. Might be that you find out that this person cares about our society, and it is important for this person. So do not expect people to change. Show something that is in line with their thinking and what they want. Because if it is not, you waste your time anyway. Sooner or later it will come back to you and it will haunt you. So, of course, you have to learn something about it. You have to create a profile for that. So don't ask people to do something against their will. It does not work long term. Now, there was this vote on the Gotthard Tunnel in Switzerland. We from WWF were against it. We lost. Because they used a great argument. They talked about safety. That's what we all want. You know, we all want safety. We all want to be safe. I don't know what the Gotthard has to do with that. I mean, but there were so many other things. You can transport more trucks, more cars, whatever. But they talked about safety, you know, because we are so safety conscious. You know, I admired Mickey's job doing what she did, but that's not what people do. We care about safety. So that's smart, actually. You can use that in your life also, you know. Don't use the arguments that you like. Use the arguments that the other person likes. We, in advertising, always say, the worm does not have to be tasty for the fisherman to the fish. Yeah? And take your time. That is so important. Now, every sales trainer tries to convince you, make the deal now. I tell you something, it is so wrong. Take your time. Make it a campaign out of it. It's a campaign. If you want a salary increase, work for it for 6 months. The last workshop I did, I met the person afterwards, Luca, and he came to me and said, Kurt, I did exactly what you wanted. I always wanted a salary increase. I never got one. But now I made a campaign. It took me 4 months. And finally, after these 4 months, I didn't even have to ask for it. They offered it to me. Take your time. Make a campaign out of it. A campaign means inspire people around them. Make them your friends. Tell them how valuable you are for this company. Have several conversations. Make an apéro. Do a lunch, whatever. But don't go to your boss and say, I want a salary increase. If you want a new job, don't go and just send an application. Do more. I remember we did a pitch for, still for 10 minutes. So much time. So much time. We did pitch for Credit Suisse to win this client. So I thought, they don't know my agency, they don't know me, what I'm doing, what should I do? So I found out who was in this committee that would evaluate us. And it is something that was absolutely not allowed, which is I sent them an email. And in this email I said, here is what I think about money in our society. And then I waited whether they would say me, Kurt, you are not allowed to do that. Don't do that anymore. And they did not do it. So every week they got a little newsletter from me on my personal relationship to money and wealth and what I thought about that. So when I was in that room, they already knew me. And you want the client. Although there were agencies there that they know far better and had a much higher reputation than I had. So that was a campaign. So I invite you, don't forget everything that salespeople tell you that you should make the deal now and pressure sell. Take your time. Create empathy. Create a relationship. Show the benefit. And then things happened. You will always win if you do that. Always. Now the best you say, my big friend would say, no, not friend, my big Vorbild, idol is Christopher Columbus. Already as a child, I admired what he did. And it's just such a hero in my life. And can you imagine that if you have to sell this thing that he had to sell, you know? So everything we have to do is quite simple and quite easy. Getting a salary increase, creating a family, making a career, making a fortune is so much easier. But and his way, his campaign is very well documented. It took him 8 years. He had to follow the court. He talked to the priest of Queen Isabella. He talked to the monks. He talked to the nobleman. He followed her on with her court. He offered aperos, we would say today. He invited people to dinner. He went to their commission. They all said no, 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 no. You calculated it wrong. The earth is far bigger than that, etc. But he did never, ever, ever let go. He believed it, and what did he do? Did he discover the new Indies? Did he? Yeah, he did. Finally, it was then something else. Yeah. So people are not interested in your stuff. Yeah. People, bad news. People are not interested in your salary increase. You know, they're just not. They have so many other things they have to do. So you have to excite them. You have to invent something. You have to have an idea. Resist the usual. Create the attention for yourself. Because from now on, you are the campaigner in your life. Create a campaign. I want to show you an example which I love.
For me, there ain't no need to flavour the milk, okay? There's sugar in everything. I know the ins and outs of those ingredients. It's in everything. Even the milk hasn't escaped the kind of modern day problems. There's our milk, there's our carton. In that is nearly as much sugar as one of your favourite cans of fizzy pop, and they're having 2 a day. So, let me just show you. We've got one kid here having, 8 tablespoons of sugar a day, There's your week. There's your month. And I've took the liberty of putting in just the 5 years of elementary school sugar just from milk.
Yeah, so...
Now, I don't know about you guys, but judging the circumstances, right, any judge in the whole world would look at the statistics.
So did you see what I mean with that? You've seen probably a lot of TED Talks. Nobody does that. I invite you, if you want to persuade somebody of something that is important to you, create a surprise that people are not expecting from you. Because people already know you. They know exactly what you're going to say and what you're going to do at what time. And they say, she again. Or he again. Break that thing. Create something unusual that surprises people. Bring a gift. If you have no other idea, gifts are wonderful. Give a gift, because there's a law of reciprocity. I can't say it. It's a very complicated word. If you give something to someone, he gives it back. He has the obligation to give it back to you. Give somebody a bottle of wine, he gives you a bottle of wine, etc. So stop it of not being creative when you want to persuade somebody. Invent something. Be surprising. Show the people you are that there's still a lot of things to learn about yourself that they do not know. It can be a story. It can be anything. Well, you are not. If you will not persist in a dispute, if you are not well prepared. I have to use my time very carefully. It's the most precious thing I have in my time now, and I have 5 minutes. And I think now that I show you. This is a great video. I always show it, but I can't show it to you, because the time is not here. So I'll show you another video that I find much more inspiring, that has inspired me a lot, which is much more important than that. Persuasion is not a Sunday walk. Don't give up. Keep pushing. Don't believe that your issue is not worthwhile. Stop believing that. It is worthwhile. You are the campaigner in your life. And I want to show you a video that is very impressive. It's called the film The 12 Angry Men. Quite a lot of you have seen it, and for the people who have not seen it, it's following situation. A jury in a hot summer day draws back in their room, and it's about about declaring guilty or non-guilty a Jamaican boy that has been blamed, accused to kill his father with 18. And the jury wants to go home. They don't give a shit, actually. It's hot outside, they want to go to a birthday party, they want to play baseball, it's hot, and they want to finish it as soon as possible. You know, a situation that you might confront when you have a meeting of people and you have something important to say, but there are other important things. So now, when you look at this short video of 2 minutes, put yourself into the shoes of the person who does not believe necessarily that this 18-year-old boy is guilty. Put yourself in your shoes and think what you would do in this particular situation. Yeah? Ready for that? Good.
Is everyone here?
The old man is inside.
Oh, would you knock on the door for him?
Yeah. You a Yankee fan?
No, Baltimore. It's like being hit in the head with a crowbar once a day. Who they got? No, I mean, who they got besides good groundkeepers?
Say, we'd like to get started.
Oh, forgive me, gentlemen. I didn't mean to keep you waiting.
Baltimore.
Okay, gentlemen, if I can have your attention. You fellas can handle this thing any way that you want to. I'm not going to make any rules. We can, well, discuss it first and then vote on it. That's, of course, that's one way. And, well, we can vote on it right now. Then
I think it's customary to take a preliminary vote.
Yeah, let's vote. Who knows? Maybe we can all get out of here, huh?
Uh-huh. Okay, then I think that, of course, you know that we have a first-degree murder charge here, and if we vote the accused guilty, we've got to send him to the chair. That's mandatory.
I think we know that.
Yeah, let's see who's where. Okay, anyone doesn't want to vote?
Guy with me.
Okay, then just remember that this has to be 12-0 either way. That's the law. Okay, are we ready? All those voting guilty, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's 11 guilty. Those voting not guilty? 1. Right. 11 guilty, 1 not guilty. Well, now we know where we are.
Boy, oh boy, there's always one.
So, what are we doing now?
I guess we talk.
Boy, oh boy.
You really think he's innocent?
I don't know.
I mean, you sat in court with the rest of us. You heard what we did. The kid's a dangerous killer. You could see it.
He's 18 years old.
Well, that's old enough. He stabbed his own father 4 inches into the chest. They proved it a dozen different ways in court. Would you like me to list them for you?
No.
Then what do you want?
I just want to talk.
Well, what's there to talk about? 11 men in here think he's guilty. No one had to think about it twice except you.
I want to ask you something. Do you believe his story?
I don't know whether I believe it or not. Maybe I don't.
So how come you vote not guilty?
Well, there were 11 votes for guilty. It's not easy to raise my hand and send a boy off to die without talking about it first.
Well, now, who says it's easy?
No one.
Well, just because I voted fast? I honestly think the guy's guilty. Couldn't change my mind if you talked for 100 years.
I'm not trying to change your mind. It's just that we're talking about somebody's life here. We can't decide it in 5 minutes, supposing we're wrong.
Supposing we're wrong. Yeah. Supposing this whole building should fall down on my head. You can suppose anything.
That's right.
Look, what's the difference how long it takes? Suppose we do it in 5 minutes, so what?
Let's take an hour. Ball game doesn't start till 8 o'clock.
Okay, so my message to you is clear, yeah? What we usually do quite often, we're cowards. Quite often we're cowards, you know, and we take over what the majority thinks. And most of all, we're cowards when it's about ourselves. Then we are not campaigners anymore. So I've met so many situations like that where group pressure was there and I gave up too early because this guy fought and the guy was declared innocent afterwards. Had this person not fought for this Jamaican boy of 18 years, he would be dead now. And it's a true story. So we're coming to the end of this wonderful workshop with you. It was a pleasure. Think in your mind, just 30 seconds. I still have 30 seconds, yeah, 30 seconds. So what will it take out for you? And just fix it in your brain that you will never let it go anymore. You promise me one thing that you will take with you. Think about it, what it is. Yeah? 30 minutes, 30 seconds. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure with having you here.